What's up, YouTube? It's your girl Forever Slim, and I am back with another video. So as you can see by the title, I'm going to go ahead and talk about what 1 month of showing up on YouTube looked like and what exactly happened. Okay, so just a little background. 1 month ago, I made a decision. Okay, not a loud decision, not something I announced to everybody, not something dramatic, just a quiet decision. Okay, I was going to show up on YouTube for 30 days straight, and there wasn't going to be any overthinking. Okay, there wasn't going to be I'm waiting until I'm ready. Okay, I was not going to be obsessing over perfection. Okay, I was just going to show up, and I did. Okay, and so what happened was not what I expected, like not at all. So when I started, my main goal was not for me to go viral. Okay, I wasn't trying to go viral, even though I would have loved to have 1,000 subscribers in all of my watch hours. Okay, I would have loved that, but I was not trying to go viral. Okay, I really wasn't even trying to impress anyone. And if I'm honest, I was really trying to prove something to myself, okay? Because I realized that I was consuming way more than I was creating. I was scrolling, I was watching, I was saving, I was planning, I was dreaming, but I was not executing. Okay, and that's the problem. There's no execution. So while I'm scrolling and watching and dreaming, I would be looking at other women, and I would think, seeing them building their lives online, that I could do that. That's what I was thinking. I could do that. I should be doing that. I want to be doing that, and not in any kind of jealous kind of way, right? But wanting and doing are two different things, and that's something I had to realize, and that's what got me motivated through these 30 days. I got tired of being the person who wanted more, but I wasn't moving forward or moving toward more. So I said, for 1 month, I'm going to move. Okay, even if nobody watches, even if the views are low, even if it's uncomfortable. And that first week, y'all, it was uncomfortable. Okay, that first week was awkward. I was super aware of everything, like my voice, the angles, the editing, the lighting, which I still forgot to turn on my light for y'all. Put my light on. And I would film something and then rewatch it and think, girl, who do you think you are? And I wasn't being very confident in myself. I was really self-doubting myself. And I ended up posting it anyway. And that was new for me, okay? That was new. Because usually if something is imperfect, I don't release it. I don't post it, right? But in all honesty, perfection is just procrastination in disguise. Did you hear me? Perfection is just procrastination in disguise. And this time, I didn't want to hide behind that. So over 30 days, I posted consistently, okay? Even when I was tired, and y'all, I was tired. Even when my house was not spotless, okay? Even when I felt uninspired. Even when I checked the analytics way too much. I mean, refresh. I still showed up, and the numbers weren't crazy. Okay, they weren't crazy. I didn't go viral. I did not wake up to 10,000 subscribers, even though I would have loved that. So if you want to subscribe, shameless plug. Okay. I didn't magically hit my monetization, right? But something happened that mattered more. And I stopped negotiating with myself. There were days where I would upload a video and it would only get 20 impressions. Not 20 views, 20 impressions. And me a month ago would have taken that personally, and I would have thought, this ain't it. This isn't working. This is embarrassing. But this first 30 days was not about ego, okay? It was about discipline. So instead of quitting, I started to study, okay? I looked at the titles. I looked at the thumbnails. I looked at my retention, and I looked to see what worked and what didn't. And I started thinking like a creator instead of a consumer. And that shift is powerful. Okay? That's a powerful shift. And so something else changed too. With that, my confidence, okay? Not loud confidence. I'm sorry, y'all, let me fix that. Not performative confidence, quiet confidence. The kind that comes from keeping promises to yourself, okay? Like when you say, I'm going to do this, I'm going to set this goal and I'm going to work towards this goal, and then you do it, like that's tea right there, because you're hitting those goals, right? Even when no one claps. And there is something about consistently showing up that changes how you see yourself. Like, you stop seeing yourself as someone who talks about doing things, and you start seeing yourself as someone who executes. And that is so important. And that feeling and that confidence, it spills into everything. You want to be an executor, and that's what I did. I execute. And so now I notice that throughout this month I became more disciplined in other areas too. I was cleaning my house, I was planning things better, I was managing my time better. Even how I spoke to myself, I poured into myself, like good morning gorgeous, you are a content creator. You can do this. You will do this. And once you build evidence that you can follow through, your brain starts to believe you. And that is so powerful. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the hard parts, because yes, I'm feeling good, but I do want to reflect, because it was not all easy. Okay? It wasn't all motivating. And honestly, there were moments when I questioned everything. Like, I'm talking about refreshing those analytics, refreshing. And that can be draining. And moments when I was comparing myself to creators that have been doing this for years, and moments I thought, what if my channel never grows? But I had to remind myself through all of that this was month 1, not year 1, not year 5, month 1. And sometimes we expect month 1 results to look like 5 years success, and that's unrealistic. So you're setting yourself up for disappointment if you're not setting realistic goals. And growth takes time. And your skill takes repetition, and your audience takes trust. And trust is built slowly. It's not built overnight, So another thing that I learned is nobody is really watching at first. I mean, I did get some views, but like, you know, it's not like a crazy amount of views. And so that's actually a good thing, because you get to improve semi in private, and you get to play around and find your voice without the pressure. You get to experiment with the different formats and the different videos, and you really just get to be imperfect without thousands of opinions. Like, that's a blessing. And I used to think low views meant failure, but now I see low views as like a training ground. So one of the biggest lessons this month taught me is that motivation is overrated. I'm gonna be honest with you. Motivation is emotional, and it's easy to not be motivated, okay? Discipline is structural, and there were days that I didn't feel inspired at all, but I had already decided, right? And when the decision is already made, your feelings don't get a vote. It is what it is. This is what you're gonna do. You're gonna post these videos for 30 days straight, and that all of that emotion gets taken out. And that ultimately is maturity, and that ultimately is growth. Because guess what? It's easy to lay around in bed all day. It's easy to run the streets with your friends and your girlfriends. It's easy to do nothing. What's hard is getting up, going to work every day. Getting up, putting in that work every single day. That's hard. And that's maturity. And I also learned that, you know, showing up publicly forces you to confront your insecurities, you know? Which everybody have insecurities, okay? Everybody has some kind of insecurity. And when you see yourself on camera, and when you hear your voice, and you watch your mannerisms, and you either shrink and give up, or you accept yourself. And I chose acceptance because I'm not perfect, but because hiding was not going to serve me and push me towards my goal. And so let me just go ahead and break it down to y'all. Did I hit my 4,000 watch hours? No. I would have loved to though. Did I gain 1,000 subscribers? No. I would have loved to though. But in these 30 days, I built something important. I built momentum, and momentum is dangerous, because once you start moving, it's harder to stop. Think about an avalanche. That avalanche starts off slow rolling, and then it picks up speed, picks up speed, picks up speed. And like, I'm not that same person I was 30 days ago. And I'm not saying that because of the numbers, right? I'm saying that because I proved to myself that I can commit to something and not quit when it's quiet. Not quit when it's tough. And that's what most people never experience. They quit in the quiet stage. They stop when no one is watching. They stop when it's awkward. They stop when it's slow. But what if the quiet stage is the stage that builds you? What if the slow part is the strengthening part? 1 month in, I don't feel famous. I feel focused. I feel clear about my voice. Y'all hear me? I feel clear about my direction, where I want to go. And I feel clear about who I'm becoming. And that's worth more than a viral moment. So what happens next? I'm going to keep on going, okay? Of course. And not because I blew up. Not because it's easy. But because I started, I've already been doing this 30 days straight, I'm going to continue. This is going to work, and I refuse to be someone who starts and stops. And this is bigger than YouTube, okay? This is about being someone who shows up for her own life, okay? I'm showing up for me. And if you're watching this, maybe you're in that quiet stage. Maybe you're thinking about starting something. Maybe you're scared. Maybe you're waiting. I don't know. Don't wait. Start. Let it be messy. Start small. Start uncomfortable. It don't matter, but start. Because 1 month from now, you could be a different version of yourself. Not because the world changed, but because you did, okay? And I'm just getting started. And if you want to see where this goes, stay with me. Okay? Subscribe to my channel. I appreciate y'all. So now what I want us to do is I do want to go ahead and show y'all my analytics, okay? I'm going to go ahead and pull up my analytics and let y'all see them. All right, y'all. So here I am on my page. Just a little bit about my analytics. I'm going to go ahead and go to YouTube Studio. So y'all can go ahead and see, okay? And I'm going to go to my analytics so y'all can see it. So I got 5.6 thousand views. So they rounded it up. I actually got 5,564 views. And my typical views was 20 to 60. So I got a lot more views. I ended up with 62.3 watch hours. And that is a mix of shorts. And that's a mix of videos. And then I got 12 subscribers. So that's like a momentum. And the thing about subscribers, it seemed like every time I would get a subscriber, somebody would unsubscribe. Every time I would get a subscriber, somebody would unsubscribe. And you know, you can't focus on that, okay? And so then over here, you can see my subscribers. And then I got 129 views in the last 48 hours. Now let's go to my content, okay? Looking at my content, I was able to post, let me see if it'll show you. Yeah, published content. I was able to post 9 videos, okay? And I was able to post 6 shorts. And my shorts were literally clips from my videos that I was posting because I'm trying to get those subscribers. And most of the people subscribed from my videos. It says 1 person subscribed from my shorts. I don't think this is fully up to date though. So looking at my impressions, I had 17,000 impressions. And so this 81.2% is from YouTube recommending my content. They are recommending me out. As you can see, most of my traffic sources were in my shorts. Shorts are our thing, and I might try to post more shorts. But those shorts don't lead to that watch time. So I'm really just trying to, you know, continue to find my way. And then my click-through rate is 2.9%. That is a little bit low for me. I really wanted it to be like at a 3. I know I'm only 1 month in. But, you know, I'm right there, 2.9%. But I would like it to be at a 3. So I am going to keep on working towards pushing myself to create and get better with my creation. And so then of course these are my shorts. My shorts, they did pretty good. I hit my first 1,000 on my shorts. None of my videos actually hit 1,000 views on the actual video itself. So like I said, guys, it's a lot of good information in here. You got your audience, you got your audience watch behavior, what videos was popular with your watchers and your viewers. And so it's a lot of good stuff in here. But yeah, I just wanted to go ahead and close out this video. I posted 30 days and this is what happened. And no, I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna keep going. So if you're here for the ride, then go ahead and make sure that you subscribe to my channel and follow along. And if you are, you know, made it this far, drop a comment down below. Let's go ahead and put that muscle emoji because we're putting in that work. And if you are about to start a journey, let me know down in the comments, okay? Because I'm here to root you on. As always, it's your girl Forever Slim, and I'll see you next time.